Uber just had better than expected earnings. Should you be investing in the stock? Well, I'm going to give you the facts and then I'll give you my opinion, all coming up. Yes, so Uber operated at a loss of 64 cents per share compared to the estimated 65 cents per share, along with other goodies in their latest earnings report. And I'm going to give you my opinion as to whether or not I think it's a worthy investment coming up. But first, let me welcome you to this channel. Hi, my name is Brad, and this is Own the Chaos. The stock market is a crazy and chaotic place, and I made up my mission to help you own it. So if you want to see more content such as this, please consider subscribing, hitting that thumbs up, and hitting that notification bell. All right. So Uber actually produced better than expected earnings. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you the facts about that earnings report. I'm going to give you my opinion, and then I want to hear from you at the end of the video as well. Give me some comments. What are your thoughts on Uber? Are you excited about these earnings reports? Do you think that it's a sound investment or not? I want to hear from you. So please let me know. I replied to all of the comments, so I would love to hear from you. Okay, so here are the facts. And I just wanted to pull this up and share my screen with you because I figured it'd be easier for you to just kind of get a good visual. The gross bookings on Uber was 18.13 billion versus the 18.3 billion expected. So just barely missed there. Adjusted net revenue of 3.74 billion versus 3.7 billion. So it's pretty flat. The loss per share at 64 cents versus 65 expected. So just barely beat those expectations. Adjusted EBITDA loss at 615 million versus 712 expected. So that's even pretty darn good as well. And all of these numbers look pretty promising for them to be profitable in the future. Even the CEO came out during their conference call and said that they plan to be profitable at the end of 2020. We'll see about that. And I think the real thorn in Uber's side right here is their Uber Eats program, which is still operating at a significant loss. GAAP revenues up 68%, adjusted revs $415 million for the quarter, up 151% from last year, $461 million loss, however, which just goes to show that the faster they're growing also means the faster that they're losing. They've already divested their Uber Eats program from India, and I think personally that they're going to have to think about divesting at least some of that business in order for them to be profitable. And all of this goes back to, a lot of these companies such as Uber and Instagram and Twitter, all these tech companies wanting to just grow at all costs. And it looks as if Uber's finally realizing that that isn't the way to go about doing things anymore, but they still have a long road to go. And it seems to me that in the next 8 months, they're going to be profitable. That's going to be quite a challenge to accomplish if they don't do something about this Uber Eats program. Not only that, but Uber CEO believes they have enough of the market share that they don't have to worry about any competition coming in and taking over. Well, I think that they may not have considered the Tesla Robotaxi program that they will be having rolling out in 2020 as well. Elon Musk announced this Robotaxi program back in the early to middle of last year, stating that they wanted to have a Robotaxi service for all of their autonomous driving vehicles. And what this does is essentially takes a cross between what Uber does and also an Airbnb or a Turo type of app and basically crosses them. This means that when you're not using your Tesla vehicle, someone could summon it with their Tesla app and get a ride home or wherever they want to go autonomously with your vehicle while you're not using it. So essentially, it's a money-making machine while it's not in your own personal use. Elon goes on to further say that the rise in robotaxis would end up being cheaper than the rideshare apps, which would include Uber and Lyft. And the estimated total profit per year per vehicle for you, if you are a Tesla autonomous vehicle user, would be around $30,000 a year. With an estimated million cars with autopilot in 2020 to be on the road, Elon is basically saying here that there could be 1 million robotaxis that would be available for use with their ride-hailing app themselves. Now, given all of those facts presented to you, here is my opinion. And I don't think that Uber is going to be profitable by Q4. They really have struggled here with the growth at all costs. And I understand that they're going to try to cut back on a lot of that and realizing that it's just not the way to go. But for me, it still looks like that WeWork type of model. If you looked at WeWork, they were just grow, but then they continually operated at a loss, and they their losses were actually overtaking any kind of growth that they could have potentially had, and they didn't know when to cut. They had a spending problem. They couldn't figure out how to stop spending money, and that seems to be what's going on with Uber. As a business owner, I've realized that growing too fast is not always a good thing. Focusing on one particular area in the market and then getting really good at that, and then focusing on something else to be able to scale my business is something that I'm aiming to do. Now, granted, I'm a smaller business, so it's going to be a little bit more of a different approach on the corporate side of things, but look at how it's affecting a lot of these other companies, such as Snapchat, such as Twitter, Instagram, and even Facebook to a certain extent. Obviously, Facebook is doing quite well, so it's a little bit different of an outlier, but a lot of these other companies in the Silicon Valley 2.0 class, if you will, are struggling with this. Just keep growing and growing and growing at all costs. Who cares how much money we're throwing away? That business model is not working, and I'm interested to see if Uber can overtake that. It's going to be quite a challenge, especially with this Uber Eats really just bringing them down. I'm not so much worried about the ride-hailing part of it, but it's the Uber Eats is really going to kill them. And they have the trucking side of things too, so that should be interesting, especially because Tesla is actually going to be rolling out their semi trucks this year as well, full production semi trucks, and they plan on making those autonomous. So how does that affect Uber Freight in that regard? Could it be a bold prediction that Tesla ends up doing so well with their ride-hailing services and their Robotaxi services that they could end up buying out Uber? I know that sounds crazy, and it probably is, but think about it. It's not impossible. So at the end of the day, do I think that Uber is a sound investment up to this point? I would say probably not. Perhaps after this latest earnings report, Uber will end up doing quite well as far as the stock price is concerned in the short term, but in the long term, let's not count out Tesla and their ability to shake up the market after they've proven that they can do that time and time again already. I believe it's a little bit foolish for them to think that they don't have to worry about competition coming in and taking over their business, and that their market share is large enough to where they don't need to be concerned with that any longer. After all, after this latest quarterly earnings report, they're still operating at $750 million in losses, so they have quite the hill to climb. And with Tesla now being profitable 2 quarters in a row and no signs of them showing anything in the red moving forward, I think this could be a huge challenge for Uber in the years to come, and maybe even sooner than that. But that's just my opinion, guys, and now I want to hear from you. So leave some comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts on Uber and where is it going. Do you agree with me? Do you think that them becoming profitable before the end of the year is even possible, or do you think that they are really on the right track and there's nothing to worry about? Is it a sound investment for you, or do you think that Tesla could eventually come in and take over that space as well? Definitely want to hear from you, and I reply to all of the comments. So leave your comment down below and I will get to you and share your ideas or your thoughts or your opinions. And that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you like this video, I certainly would appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell to get notified every time I put up a video. And as always, folks, I will see you all before the bell, and B Smith is out. Tesla stock has cracked $735 as of this recording. What an incredible thing to see, and one company thinks it's going to 7,000. I'll give you my thoughts and opinion on that in just a sec, but first,